Is it Spirit? No, that's why I was wrong. You got But if you send me something, you say, hey, I'll see that. I'm trying to get them.
Thank you.
It's 7 o'clock on
I
the dot.
will, I'm sorry, Truman, I was right.
Into the streets.
Right.
Hey, last game?
Right, like, so, oh, Doug is.
I got to bring it down.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no.
I have this. I did not.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the City of Griffin regular board meeting on July 12th. I'd like to call the meeting to order. We're going to have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Flowers. You're good on the allegiance today. And then the invocation will be led by Commissioner Hensley. Please join us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Heavenly Father, we're here today to ask for your blessing on performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interests of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of the city and its people. We pray in your name.
Thank you. Welcome, everybody. First item is approval of the agenda. I need a motion to amend the agenda to add item 22, consider the purchase of a 2022 Ford Escape SEL in the amount of $36,486 from Covington Ford for the Public Works Department. We have a motion to approve amending the agenda. Mr. Tinsley with a motion. We have a second. Second by Ms. Murray. All in favor of approving the amended agenda, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Under presentations and delegations, tonight we are going to recognize Nicole Hensley, Laboratory Manager, as the June 2022 Strongest Link in the Chain Award recipient. Watershed Management Director Brandon Lewis will address. Welcome, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, Nicole, come on. If you have not met Nicole, this is Nicole Hensley. She's our wastewater lab manager. Also does all our coordination for our industrial pre-treatment program. She was nominated for this month's, for the month of June's Strongest Link Award by her 2 staff members, her 2 employees. And they recognized right off the bat what we've known about Nicole, and as she's been in this role since January of this year. She's really taken a big program by the horns and making it her own. Has already brought into the mix process improvements with the way we conduct business for the wastewater lab. And it's really just, in my opinion, vastly improved our program thus far. Both of her new staff members have, you took the position in January. We hired one staff member in February and then the next one in May. Yeah, so both of these the lab analyst and the lab tech, they haven't been with us very long, but they recognize that Nicole's doing the job of 3 people essentially for a little while, and also training the 2 of them to come up into their positions. We had unfortunately some turnover right before our previous lab manager left to take for another opportunity at another system. But Nicole didn't let that scare her away, and thankfully she's really done a great job with it. She's very deserving of this recognition, so I'm proud to have her with us. Hey, hold on. You gotta do pictures now.
And then you're making a speech too. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Like, so
Okay.
and you're gonna have to look that way to that young lady behind you. She's gonna.
All right, you gotta wear this. Just hold
Don't
it.
break your neck.
Okay. There you go. Do the handshake.
I'm sure. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Great, thank you.
Congratulations.
Wonderful. Thank you. Next, we're going to recognize the city of Griffin for receiving the 2021 George F. Ames PISCES Program Award for Stormwater System Improvement Project. Stormwater Director Bryce Martin will address. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, just very briefly, so I want to thank the commissioners for their approval for us getting the GFA loan back just a couple of years ago, well, 2019 now, and our participation in the state revolving fund program. And Dr. Keller, who's not here tonight, for his forethought and insights into taking this approach, it really has allowed us as a city to improve so much of our stormwater system in such a short amount of time. We're really wrapping this project up in the next month or so. Should be done by the end of August, but it's really proven to be a great benefit to parts of our stormwater system infrastructure that would have otherwise taken many, many years to finish up. But we're the only system or the only municipality in Georgia that got recognized, and the only stormwater system in the country that got recognized for this. So, but we really appreciate being able to do this. So thank you.
Bryce didn't mention it, but Mr. Martin is also to thank for that award. He has really taken that department on his own, and which has made him the director of that stormwater department. So he's grown that department for what it is because of his willingness to take on projects that other cities, whether in Georgia or the nation, won't do, and he does them and makes it look easy. So I don't get stormwater issues too much because he just resolves it. So a big thanks to Mr. Martin.
Just what it rains. Moving into reviewing financial reports for May 2022, Chief Financial Officer Marcus Schwab will address. Welcome, sir.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Commissioners.
As always.
Thank you. Just real quick, we have the cash report. One thing to note is that we have qualified our next tranche and basically the banking information with the Office of Personnel and Budget with Georgia, so that is forthcoming in August. So any day now, really. And the other item of note is that there's the addition of the Transportation SPLOST report in here. We have 2 months recorded. Both tally together for April and May is just over 700,000. If you recall, we did budget 745,000 for the 3 months. And so the collections are coming in slightly higher than anticipated.
Any questions or comments?
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schwab.
Thank you.
At this time, we open the floor for citizens' comments. The mayor opens the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the city. Commission meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. The mayor reserves the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. With that being said, is there anybody on my left side like to come before the board? Is there anybody on my right side like to come before the board? Last call. There are no public hearings tonight. The consent agenda is items 4 through 15. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Mr. Brock with a motion, Ms. Murray with a second. All in favor of The consent agenda, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Moving into item 16, consider the purchase of 7 Ford Interceptor police vehicles in the total amount of $236,600 from Rannon Motor Company, single source provider.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. McCord with a motion. Second by Mrs. Murray. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 17 is consider the purchase of a digital forensics camera from Foster and Freeman sole source in the amount of $39,171.50 and amend the budget accordingly.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. McCord with a motion. Ms. Murray with a second. All in favor of the purchase, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 18 is consider a task order from Form with Heath and Linebacker Engineers, Inc. through a professional service agreement for a horizontal and vertical survey of State and Bank Street for the proposed T-Splosh streetscape project. So, Mr. Tinsley with a motion. We have a second. Ms. Murray with a second. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 19 is consider a work order form from RTC Solutions through a previously approved master service agreement in the amount of $700,660 for the purchase and handling of materials in downtown Griffin for feeder 4 area located in west central Griffin. We have a motion to approve. Mrs. Murray with a motion. Do we have a second? Second by Mr. Tinsley. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 20 is to consider agreement with ADS Environmental Service, sole source in the amount of $385,683 for a 12-month sewer monitoring agreement. Consider a resolution declaring a moratorium for new sewer connections in the Shoal Creek sewer service area. Authorize a transfer of $385,683 to watershed management operating cash account from the capital cost recovery fee cash account and amend the budget accordingly. Mr. Tinsley with a motion. Do we have a second? Second by, is that Ms. Murray?
Second.
Ms. Murray with a second. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. Item 21 is consider a second reading amendments to the Personnel Transportation Vehicle Ordinance Code of Griffin, Chapter 90, Traffic and Vehicles, Article 10, Personal Transportation Vehicles. We have a motion to amend or amendments of the second reading. Mrs. Ward with a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second by Ms. Murray. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. And then the last one,
Just hard.
item 22 is consider purchase of a 2022 Ford Escape SEL in the amount of $36,486 from Covington Ford for the Public Works Department. We have a motion for purchase.
So moved.
Mr. McCord with a motion. Do we have a second? Second, Mr. Brock. All in favor, please signal by raising your hand. 7-0. And then moving into city manager's report.
A couple of things I wanted to address on the agenda tonight. First is the amendment that you graciously allowed us to do. I just wanted you all to understand that with these supply chain issues and increase in cost, we're doing everything we can to make purchases as soon as they get here or even before they get here in order to keep it under budget. So Marisa, our new public works director, is here. And she was able to find this Ford Escape after a lot of digging, but they wanted a deposit before it got on their lot, and it is intended to be there, I think, by the end of this week. So they are considering a PO from a city a deposit without it being actual cash, but they wanted an approved PO. So that's the sort of urgency to some of these POs. I hope you won't see this frequently. I don't like amending the agenda, but you may see them every once in a while because of those supply chain and cost increase issues that are just nationwide right now. The other thing of note for the agenda items is the personal transportation vehicles are better known as golf carts. So this is something that we have sort of cleaned up based on state law in the past. We don't feel as though we have enforced it the way it needs to be enforced on our city streets. So you should see some new signs that were permitted where you can cross on state highways. Those have been permitted by GDOT. So if somebody is on a state highway other than where they are crossing, they are illegally driving on a state highway. You have to register a golf cart in the city of Griffin every year, not just once. So every year, January 1, you're required to register that golf cart. Because we're just now getting this adopted, July 1 makes it a $7.50 registration. We're not asking to make money, we're just asking to pay for the stickers. So you will need to come in if you want to drive your golf cart on city streets and get that registered immediately before you drive again. Be a $7.50 charge, and then you'll have to do it again January 1. Always been in the code, just not been enforced quite as well as it needed to be. Also, it is just like driving a car. The same license requirements that you would have to drive a car are the license requirements you have to drive a golf cart. So 12-year-olds cannot drive a golf cart. You have to be 16 or you have to be 15 with a license 18 or above in the cart with you, one person per seat, so on and so forth. So those will be enforced. Our lieutenant, and I think just stepped out, is actually the one that did put together a lot of the training for PD. They will be going through roll call training with Ms. Carden to understand exactly what they need to do, what citations. We hope to write warnings first, but it is unsafe the way that some of these golf carts are currently operating, so they will need to be enforced. So I just wanted to make sure that was on the record, publicly noted, that it has now been adopted and will be enforced beginning immediately.
Hooray.
Thank you. One other thing I wanted to mention is that our street lights continue to be repaired and changed to LED and also added. That was a big goal for us for crime reduction and quality of life. So as of last week, the electric department has added 96 additional street lights and repaired an additional 102. So you're almost up to 200 more street lights, whether repaired or added. Also, don't forget, we have a meeting Friday. Sorry to inundate you with meetings this week, but a meeting Friday for loss renegotiation. This is the initial call of that renegotiation. It will be at the county annex Friday at 9. And then finally, our Archway mini retreat will be August 10th at the extension office from 1 to 5, I think, 1 to 5. So please put that on your calendar as well, and I'll remind you as we get closer. And that is it for me.
Thank you so much. Mr. Whalen. It's good to see you, Mr. Whalen.
Great seeing you.
Mr. Rock.
Good meeting, sir.
Mrs. Murray.
Thank you, staff, for everything that you do. I'm glad you mentioned those streetlights because I get a lot of people say, oh, it's so bright and safe, and everyone notices and recognizes that. And congratulations on our strongest link, Nicole, and congratulations, Bryce, on the stormwater board. Thank you for keeping our city above all others. Appreciate it. No
That's
comment.
right. Ms. Ward. Mr. Tinsley.
I found it somewhat humorous that in a recent parade, we invited people to come out with their golf carts and participate in the parade. I didn't see a sticker on any golf cart from the participants. So we might want to remind them, as long as your golf cart is registered, you're welcome to it together and participate.
We have new registration forms, we have new maps at PD, we have a new presentation for our officers. All of that is in conjunction with all kinds of help from Danielle, from Kelsey, from Lieutenant Walden, from PD. So they will be well aware, and Danielle has already been putting it out on social media to say, make sure you're watching where you're crossing. But now that we have officially re-adopted our registration requirements, we are gonna waive that and just say $750, but come get it done. Because I think some people didn't know it was an annual requirement. Some people didn't know it was a requirement at all. So we understand, but as of tonight, we all know.
And our mayor pro tem, I understand, has been nominated to be the golf cart.
Czar.
The golf cart czar. Yeah, there you go.
I'm just looking for the golf cart lanes. Are we doing that like Peachtree City? Or we doing-
No, that's why we're so strict.
Oh,
because
okay,
we
I'm
don't
just
have
checking,
separate
just
lanes.
checking.
You need new capacity.
Oh, and insurance. You have to have your golf cart insured.
That's hard.
No, double duty.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add.
I just want to thank staff for their hard work. It's been going on. The second Saturday of this past week was a great event, even though it was threat of rain. Also, staff's help in regards to police, public works, everybody in regards to the 4th of July parade. Thank you so much. That being said, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting? Mr. Hensley with the motion, second by Ms. Flowers. All in favor, please get up and leave and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.